So I want to show you a style guide. We've talked about color, we've talked about presentations and styles and how companies might have their own templates or styles. And this is the Hartnell College Style Guide. And so it talks about logo usage and graphic standards for the college. And this one was from September 2014. I don't think there have been any changes since then, but I haven't looked up their latest style guide. And if I zoom in, let me go to a little more zoomed. It goes in detail about brand identity, acceptable and unacceptable logo usages, typography, color palette, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How do you do this? How do you set up an email signature that the college wants you to use? And then your email signature is your type name, your title, et cetera, the information that's automatically added to the end of an email that you send. And there are rules for all of this. And within a company, it's a good idea to do the same thing. Now, you don't have to do all of this because maybe certain certain employees are not going to be creating PowerPoints and presenting. Your marketing team is the only one that needs to know this, or your sales team might need to know this. Your executive team might need to know this, but not the vast majority of employees. But at Hartnell, there's a huge number of people in departments, faculty and staff, that do presentations, that go out to the community and don't have any contact with our foundation or our marketing people. And so all of these details are spelled out. So if anybody is doing something, they know how to do it. And so there's a discussion about our brand identity and how that works. I would ask you to read this. It's not a long read, but you can get an idea. It's 20 pages, but it's probably like 3 pages of actual reading. The Hartnell logo, how you should and should not use it. So here is our Hartnell logo, and there's some variations on this logo. Not every logo is listed in this guide. There are specific logos used for certain areas, like the Agricultural Business and Technology Institute has a slight variation on this logo that we can use for certain Ag Institute specific presentations or flyers or something like that. And we have an entire protected folder with all of the different logos that the college has available. And so this is just, again, briefly talking about the logo, what not to do. And these are the unacceptable uses that sometimes are based on other people's logos or based on old logo concepts. You don't want to split Hartnell College. You don't want to use too small of a font. You don't want to use the wrong font, this is both an unapproved typeface. It's not the Shannon typeface, and it is in a layout that's not part of the approved image. So here's the Shannon font, the Shannon bold, Shannon book, Shannon oblique, and these are all in the same family. They're all Shannon, but if you need to have emphasis or anything like that, all of these have the same look and feel. They're all part of the same font family. And so it's part of branding. And alternate font families when Shannon is unavailable, because Shannon, you might not have that on your computer. And you got to do something. So what are the acceptable alternatives? Myriad Pro and Tahoma are the 2 font families that are the close enough to get away with it if it's on, on your Mac that you don't have Shannon, or on Now, I don't think I had Shannon on this until I went out and got it. You can get Shannon True Type font. Just type in Shannon True Type font, and you can probably install that for free on your own computer. So here is our colors, the maroon, black, and gold. Maroon, I keep calling it burgundy when I'm talking about it, but what is the spot color? The PMS spot color, which is that a Pantone? I can't remember for sure, but anyway, the spot color number gives you an exact code. What is the RGB designation? 115 red, 0 green, 39 blue. CMYK, again, you have the numbers, and in hexadecimal code for programming, if you're programming the color into a web page, then you use a hexadecimal number. In previous color discussions, I talked about RGB, computer monitors, and computer displayed things on a screen or a TV. CMYK is for the printed page, and hex is for web page design, where you're doing a hexadecimal color code. And so those are the three colors, the colors and the fonts. And the file formats, approved Hartnell logos are located, and this I think moved, but you wouldn't have access to it anyway. We have a private R drive on our network. If you have access to it, you can go into the communications and marketing. I think the communications and marketing is still there, just they move their subfolder around, and you can find various versions of image files or PDF files that are available for different uses. And there's an appropriate use. If I'm putting it up on a web page, you should use a particular type of image. If I'm sending it to the printer, I should use a particular type of image. And so they have all of that available. And again, I'm not going to go through it. You know, professional graphics layout programs have what are called these EPS, encapsulated postscript files. And so you don't have to worry about the details, but it's laid out in excruciating detail. What if I'm going to have my email logo? Well, first name, last name, title, department, Hartnell image with the generic Hartnell contact information, as well as the specific information for you, 411 Central Avenue, generic address, and your phone number, your cell number if you like, your fax number if you like, your email address, and hartnell.edu. Growing leaders, opportunity, engagement, achievement. That's what you're we're asked to have as your Hartnell email signature that will automatically go at the end. I don't know if there's been any changes to the detail of that. I think we use the same tagline at the bottom, but I don't even look at it anymore. I'm just kind of blind to it. And I let the college control my email settings. I took whatever settings were there and I haven't touched them. So it goes through how in a Gmail account to do this. If you want to do this and you have Gmail, follow these rules. You certainly have your Hartnell email account, which is Gmail, but for your personal or professional, if it's based on Gmail, these are the general rules on how to do that. And it's easy to do it on any email program. They're going to be very similar. Business cards, I think they did have a minor change in what they're doing on their current business cards, but not much. They look pretty much like this. What the front should look like, what the back should look like, letterhead, what it should look like. And don't tell anybody, but my letterhead looks different than that. I have my address at the top. Envelopes. South County letterhead and envelopes, again, different locations. board of director information. PowerPoints. This is what I was after. PowerPoint presentations. If you're doing a PowerPoint presentation, this is the marketing title page with a photo, marketing or title page rather without a photo. Your bullet points, your charts, what should they look like? And you can download the templates for that on the Hartnell website. Brochure templates, flyers, templates, and then contact information. So this is a really well put together booklet showing a professional style guide. And what am I asking you to do in this class? You're imagining a business or a real business that you don't have to imagine, and you're creating some documents to learn how to use Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or equivalent programs to create documents. And I'm also trying to get the mindset, think about these documents having a theme, having a consistent branding, having your logo, having colors, having fonts, so you're being consistent. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Hartnell has done that for Hartnell. We have fonts, colors, and styles very clearly defined for all of the major types of documents that we would likely produce to interact with the public. When you're creating your documents, I want you to be thinking the same thing. What is your logo for your real or fictitious company? If you don't have one, find one. What is the font that you like? You don't have to make one up. You don't, you like Shannon. All right, I like Shannon Hartnell. I like Shannon's Hartnell logo. Go for it. Or font, I should say. Shannon font. Use it. Now, when you're creating documents, change them consistently to Shannon. Maybe you like Garamond. Maybe you keep it simple. Don't do brush script or Latin wide. Those have their place, and I've used both of them to some effect in various documents, but brush script and Latin wide are not fonts that look good for everyday use for your font selection. Stick with a basic, easy to read font. All right, so that is it for Style Guide.